Nikola Tesla was one of the most brilliant minds in modern history, but he wasn't just an inventor. He was a man consumed by questions about energy, about vibration, about how the universe really works. To some, that obsession looked like madness. To others, it looked like the future. And he's not alone. From Curie to McClintock, history is filled with scientists whose greatest discoveries began with something deeper than curiosity, something closer to a compulsion. And if you stay with me until the end, I'll share mine. Because I think most of us, if we're truly being honest, have one. And I hope you share in the comments what yours is. This ultimately is a story about how obsession has a bright side, a side of genius that can ultimately lead to discovery. But obsession is not rare in science, we see it everywhere. In fact, some of the greatest minds in history were ultimately driven by it. Einstein was obsessed with light. He imagined chasing a beam of light through space. Now, this vision in his mind, this one thought, would not let go until he discovered special relativity. Feynman, on the other hand, couldn't stop thinking about the tiniest of particles. He drew hundreds of diagrams, looping, spinning, colliding, until he rewrote how we understand quantum electrodynamics. Take Paul Dirac, for example. He was obsessed with beauty, not in art like the way we typically associate beauty, but in equations. He believed nature's laws had to be elegant, and that belief led him to predict antimatter before it was ever seen. None of these people called them obsessions, but they also could not let it go. Which brings us to Tesla, because he really walks the line between madness and genius, which is one reason why I think so many of us are really drawn to him because he's an interesting character. Now, when I was watching a video about Tesla, I was ultimately pretty surprised. I don't know why, to find out what his obsession was, in particular, what object he was obsessed with. Let me know in the comments if you already know this, but it was ultimately a crystal. Now, if you look around on my bookcase, you're like, who are you to judge? And I'm not judging. It just surprised me because I think crystals are beautiful. I decorate with them, but I'm not obsessed with them. Not the way Tesla was. And you'll see what I mean as we go. Now, Tesla didn't just collect crystals, he carried them around like relics, always in his pockets, always with purpose. And to many, that's where the story ends, a strange genius with a strange obsession. But what if that obsession wasn't strange at all? What if now looking back, knowing what we know, we're like, that actually makes sense. I can see why he did that. Quartz crystals are more than pretty geometry. They bend electricity, they store energy, they vibrate at frequencies so precise we use them to measure time. There's a phenomenon called piezoelectricity, where you apply pressure to quartz, for example, and it produces electricity. Some of these principles can be applied to the things that run our watches, the circuits in our spacecrafts, the heartbeat of every wireless signal. And Tesla, he was decades ahead of everyone else. You see, in his Colorado Springs lab, he built oscillators, resonant circuits that tried to match the natural frequencies of the Earth. He wasn't just experimenting with resonance, he was designing frequency based systems, and some used crystalline materials to tune or amplify those signals. He even claimed to have transmitted wireless energy using tuned vibrations, an idea that sounded so ridiculous at the time, but today underlies our modern wireless charging. So when Tesla held a crystal, he wasn't clutching a superstition. He was holding a tool, a symbol of order, an idea he needed to figure out how to get out into the world. Now, on top of it, crystals don't just conduct, they remember. They grow by repeating a single structure again and again. They lock in symmetry, pattern, stability. Some physicists, like Ayla Prigozhin, saw this as proof of a natural intelligence. She saw them as self organizing systems that can thrive when energy flows through them. And in optics, crystals can store and manipulate light itself, shaping beams, encoding holograms, even acting like memory arrays. In other words, Tesla's crystal obsession may not have been mystical at all. It might have been visionary. He saw in them what science would take another century to confirm. that form holds function, that energy responds to structure, and that resonance might be the hidden language of the universe. So, do you think it was madness or genius now knowing a fuller, more complete picture? Because when you step back, you can see both sides. Now, Tesla was not collecting crystals for their sparkle to use for decoration. You see, he was chasing their pattern, precision, their harmony. He was trying to tune into the deeper structure of the universe. Maybe that's why he kept them close, why he spoke of them as alive, and why they were more than just a curiosity. We all have something we return to, an idea, a question, a pattern we can't stop seeing. For Tesla, it was resonance, but like a wave, he wasn't alone. Marie Curie was so devoted to her work with radioactive elements that she carried a test tube of polonium and radium in her pockets. She was fascinated by their glow that she just carried them everywhere. She wasn't chasing fame. She also was chasing a pattern in nature that no one else could see. Her obsession ultimately reshaped physics, chemistry, and medicine, but it came at a cost. The very substance that changed the world also shortened her life. Take Barbara McClintock. She spent years studying corn, not just its color, but its patterns, the spots, the stripes, the inconsistencies. Others thought she was wasting her time, but she saw something deeper. That obsession, in particular, of corn kernels led her to discover jumping genes, a revolutionary idea in genetics that no one believed at first. Decades later, it earned her a Nobel Prize. Where have we heard that before? A discovery so unique that no one believed them. Decades later, a Nobel Prize. Different fields, different minds, but the same fire. For Tesla, it was crystals. For Curie, it was radiation. For McClintock, it was rows of corn. Each obsession looked different. Each obsession was strange until it changed what we thought was possible. Obsessions don't always have to be bad, but they are something that grabs your mind, your attention, and won't let go. You start to see patterns everywhere. They keep showing up. The questions won't quiet down. It's not always noise, though. Sometimes it's a signal. From where, I'm not so sure, but I'd like to know where you think these signals come from. And if you've been watching biolumination for any amount of time, you might know that my obsession is asking questions. Questions that are pushing the boundary between science and mystery, between what's possible and what's not, between what's accepted and what's really quite on the fringe. Now, to me, being a scientist means really always questioning the narrative, seeing where research takes you, following the science, even if it goes to some pretty strange and mysterious places. If this sounds like your kind of journey, I hope you'll consider joining the community. Be sure to let me know what you are obsessed with, what drives you every day. Regardless if you want to share your obsession or not, please be sure to help out this small channel. Like, subscribe, you know what to do. And until next time, take care.